Your body feels heavier than it used to. It's not just that your legs have slowed down. Those things that once made you feel like you, your strength, your confidence, your hunger to live fully, now seem to be slipping out of reach. I've heard this from hundreds of men over 60. One man who used to go hiking with his grandkids now has to stop and catch his breath after just a few steps up the stairs. A husband who once took pride in tending his garden now struggles just to lift a potted plant. And many quietly confide to me, almost in shame. Maybe old age has finally won, hasn't it, doctor? I'm Dr. Benjamin Hartwell. For over 25 years, I've worked with thousands of men your age, helping them reclaim the vitality, performance, and confidence they thought were gone forever. And I'm here to tell you the truth. In many cases, the cause isn't age. Your body isn't past its expiration date. Often it comes down to silent deficiencies in the most basic nutrients, the small but vital building blocks that years, diet habits, and reduced absorption have gradually taken away. When these are lacking, everything from your energy and stamina to your mood and ability to connect can crumble, like a house built on sand. The good news is, if deficiency is the cause, recovery is absolutely possible. And no, I'm not talking about expensive pills or the so-called miracle cures plastered all over the internet. I'm talking about 5 essential micronutrients, backed by research, recommended by top health authorities, and proven to help many of my patients turn back the clock on their health. Today, I'll walk you through these 5 nutrients, how they work, and how to restore them the right way so you can actually feel the difference. But before we start, there's one common mistake that most men your age are making, and if you're making it too, all your supplementation efforts will be almost pointless. I'll reveal that mistake at the end of this video. If you care about regaining your vitality, performance, and self-confidence, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and let me know in the comments. If what I've said so far resonates with you, type 1. If not, type 0, and share what you most want to improve. Now let's start with the first nutrient, one that over 40% of American men over 60 are missing, and which could be the foundation for rebuilding your muscle strength, bone stability, and disease resistance. Vitamin D3. Vitamin D3 is often called the sunshine vitamin, but the truth is that in the U.S., especially among men over 60, more than 4 in 10 are deficient without even knowing it. Our bodies can naturally produce D3 when skin is exposed to sunlight, but age slows this process, and spending most of our time indoors makes that natural supply shrink even further. I remember a patient named Mark, 67, a retired firefighter. He used to be quick on his feet and strong, but in recent years he noticed weaker legs, persistent knee aches, and occasional loss of balance when standing up. What worried him most wasn't the pain. It was the fear of becoming a burden to his wife. His blood test showed a 25 OHD level of just 18 nanograms per milliliter, well below the recommended 30 nanograms per milliliter. Vitamin D3 is like the solid foundation of a building. It helps your body absorb calcium and phosphorus for strong bones, while also maintaining muscle strength so you can move steadily and confidently. It also plays a key role in immune function, helps ward off infections, and according to some studies, is linked to maintaining healthy testosterone levels. Natural sources include fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, sardines, egg yolks, and fortified dairy products. But for most men at this age, diet and sunlight alone aren't enough to keep levels optimal. That's why many of my patients need supplemental D3, typically 800 to 2000 IU per day, depending on test results, under medical supervision to avoid excess. 3 months after starting supplementation, Mark told me, "I can climb stairs steadily again, and most importantly, I feel in control of my body." That was a great start, but real vitality requires more, because even if your bones and muscles are strong, your stamina and performance can still lag if you're missing the mineral that drives male hormones, zinc. Zinc is one of those quiet minerals that controls so much of men's health, especially after 60. I often call zinc the body's master mechanic. You don't always notice it's there, but without it, the whole engine runs rough. From testosterone production, prostate health, and immune defense to metabolism, zinc keeps them all running smoothly. Michael, 63, is a perfect example. A business consultant with a firm handshake and confident demeanor, he seemed in control. But behind the scenes, his mornings were sluggish, evenings devoid of interest in connecting with his wife, and he felt his edge slipping away. His serum zinc was just 65 micrograms per deciliter, far below the optimal 80 to 120 micrograms per deciliter. When zinc is low, testosterone often follows, triggering a chain reaction, loss of muscle strength, reduced libido, lower mood. The prostate, where zinc levels are highest in the body, can swell, leading to discomfort and frequent nighttime bathroom trips. Plus, zinc participates in over 300 enzyme reactions, regulating blood sugar, sustaining energy, and keeping your mind sharp. The problem is, men over 60 absorb only about half as much zinc from food as they did when younger. Zinc-rich foods like oysters, red meat, pumpkin seeds, almonds, and beans are great, but often not enough to reverse long-standing deficiencies. That's why I often recommend 15 to 30 milligrams of zinc citrate or zinc picolinate daily, forms your body absorbs far better than zinc oxide. After 8 weeks on 25 milligrams of zinc citrate daily plus dietary adjustments, Michael returned to my office with a completely different smile. "Doc, I feel like myself again." My wife noticed too. That transformation wasn't just hormonal, it was about confidence and presence. But for zinc to truly shine, it needs a strategic partner, a mineral involved in over 300 reactions in the body and the foundation of your energy: magnesium. Magnesium is the mineral I often call the body's electrical framework. Without it, your internal power lines start flickering and cutting out. It's involved in over 300 biochemical reactions, from converting food into energy, regulating your heartbeat, and relaxing your muscles, to keeping blood flowing smoothly. The worrying part is most men over 60 I see are either deficient or borderline low in magnesium, even when they eat a healthy diet. David, 65, is one example. A former marathon runner, he lived with discipline, followed a Mediterranean diet, never smoked, never drank. Yet every morning he woke up feeling as if he'd run 6 miles in his sleep, tired, sore, and sometimes cramping in the middle of the night. Even a simple walk in the park with his wife had become a challenge. Standard blood tests showed nothing unusual, but when we checked his RBC magnesium, measuring the magnesium stored inside red blood cells, which reflects the body's actual reserves, it revealed a severe deficiency. Magnesium not only keeps muscles contracting and relaxing smoothly, but also works with nitric oxide to help blood vessels relax, boosting circulation, critical for both heart health and sexual function. A 2017 study even found that low magnesium was linked to erectile dysfunction in older men, particularly those with kidney issues. Magnesium-rich foods include dark leafy greens, spinach, Swiss chard, nuts, almonds, pumpkin seeds, beans, whole grains, fatty fish, and even dark chocolate. But at this age, reduced absorption and certain medications, especially diuretics and antacids, can quickly drain magnesium stores. That's why I often recommend supplementing with 400 milligrams of magnesium citrate or magnesium glycinate daily, 2 forms that are well absorbed and gentle on the stomach. After 6 weeks of supplementation and adding magnesium-rich foods to his evening meals, David came back with brighter eyes and more energy in his voice. "Doctor, I can walk the entire park without my calves cramping. And the evenings feel different too." Magnesium keeps your body running smoothly, but muscle power and circulation alone won't keep you at your peak if your memory and nervous system start to decline. That's why the next nutrient, vitamin B12, is so important. Vitamin B12 is what I call the current of memory and nerve health, silently nourishing your brain, ensuring every nerve signal travels smoothly, and making sure each red blood cell is produced in full to carry oxygen throughout your body. In men over 60, B12 deficiency is more common than you might think, mainly because the stomach produces less acid and intrinsic factor, both essential for absorbing B12 from food. I remember Harold, 71, a retired teacher who came to see me after finding himself forgetting recent tasks, losing focus while reading the paper, and sometimes feeling tingling in his hands and feet. He feared he might be entering the early stages of dementia. Blood and methylmalonic acid tests showed his B12 level was just 220 picograms per milliliter, far below the optimal 400 to 800 picograms per milliliter range. B12 not only keeps memory sharp, it also protects the myelin, the insulation around nerves that prevents signal interference. Without enough B12, you're more likely to feel fatigued, sluggish, or even mildly depressed for no clear reason. In more severe cases, prolonged deficiency can cause permanent nerve damage. The best sources of B12 are animal products like beef, fish, eggs, and dairy. But if absorption is impaired, I usually recommend sublingual methylcobalamin or regular B12 injections, delivering B12 straight into the bloodstream and bypassing the stomach barrier. For Harold, I started with weekly B12 injections for 1 month, then maintained him on 1,000 micrograms per day sublingual tablets. Within just 6 weeks, Harold returned with a relieved smile. My memory feels sharper, and I can sit for hours reading without my mind wandering. Physical strength is important, but when your mind and memory are clear, you can truly savor every moment with your family and your life. Still, there's one more nutrient that ties all these benefits together, protecting blood vessels, improving circulation, boosting immunity, and laying the foundation for other micronutrients to work at their best. That nutrient is vitamin C. Vitamin C is often underrated by older men, many thinking of it only as the cold prevention vitamin. In reality, after 60, its role is far deeper and broader. It protects blood vessel walls, maintains arterial flexibility, supports nitric oxide production for improved circulation, and shields tissues, including muscle and reproductive tissues, from free radical damage. Robert, 67, a retired engineer, used to be handy with everything from fixing appliances to working in the garden. But in recent years, he tired easily, felt his heart race when climbing stairs, and often avoided intimate moments with his wife out of breath and lacking confidence. His diet contained almost no fresh fruit or deeply colored vegetables, and his blood tests confirmed plasma vitamin C levels below the recommended range. Vitamin C helps synthesize collagen, the support beams of blood vessel walls, keeping arteries strong and guarding against atherosclerosis. It also protects the endothelium, the inner lining of blood vessels, keeps blood flowing smoothly, and prevents nitric oxide from breaking down too quickly, a key factor for healthy vascular function and erections. On top of that, vitamin C is a powerful antioxidant, protecting brain cells, supporting immunity, and even helping maintain bone density, critical for preventing falls or fractures in later life. Natural sources are abundant: oranges, grapefruit, strawberries, bell peppers, broccoli, and dark leafy greens. But for men at this age, I often suggest splitting supplements into 2 doses of 500 to 1,000 milligrams per day, morning and afternoon, to keep blood levels steady instead of taking one large dose and letting the kidneys flush the excess away. After 3 months of steady supplementation and increasing fresh produce intake, Robert came back looking like a different man. I can work in the garden all day and still have the energy to walk with my wife in the evening. I feel like I'm 10 years younger, but this is only a fragmented picture. When these 5 nutrients, D3, zinc, magnesium, B12, and vitamin C, are combined the right way, your body doesn't just recover piece by piece. Instead, they create a powerful synergistic effect that brings a level of vitality no single nutrient alone could deliver. And that's exactly what I want to share next. When you take each nutrient on its own, you'll get benefits, but when they're combined properly, those benefits don't just add up, they multiply. This is what I call the nutritional synergy effect. I remember James, 68, a retired teacher. He came to see me after trying various supplements on his own. First vitamin C, then zinc, then magnesium. Each time he felt a little better, but never quite regained the vitality he was hoping for. His tests showed low vitamin D3, borderline low B12, and suboptimal levels of magnesium, zinc, and vitamin C. When I suggested a combined regimen, 1,000 IU vitamin D3, 25 milligrams zinc citrate, 400 milligrams magnesium glycinate, 1,000 micrograms sublingual B12, and 1,000 milligrams vitamin C split into 2 doses, everything changed. After 8 weeks, James came back with a completely different energy, waking up easily, sharper memory and focus, better physical stamina, and a more optimistic outlook. I feel like I've flipped the switch back on. It's not just my health, it's my excitement for life again, he said. The science behind this synergy is solid. Vitamin D3 helps your body use calcium and magnesium efficiently and influences testosterone levels. Magnesium is required to convert D3 into its active form, while also supporting muscle function and circulation. Zinc boosts testosterone and prostate health and works with vitamin C to protect blood vessels. B12 keeps your nervous system and brain in top shape, so you can fully harness the energy and strength the other micronutrients provide. But here's my warning. Most men over 60 I meet unintentionally lose much of these benefits due to two common mistakes. First, choosing the wrong supplement forms, cheap but poorly absorbed. Second, taking them at the wrong time and inconsistently. If you want to truly see results, you must avoid these traps. And that's exactly what I'll share next. William, 64, was a meticulous accountant, precise with every number. He spent weeks researching the best vitamins and minerals on the market, convinced he had chosen wisely. But after 6 months of regular use, nothing had changed. He was still fatigued, unfocused, and unmotivated for activities he once enjoyed. When I reviewed what William was taking, the problem was clear. He was using standard ascorbic acid vitamin C, high dose, but taken all at once in the morning, meaning his body absorbed only part and flushed most out in a few hours. He used zinc oxide, absorbed at only about 5 to 15%, instead of zinc citrate or picolinate, which can reach 30%. His magnesium was magnesium oxide, poorly absorbed and prone to causing digestive upset. And his B12 was a swallowable pill, which is far less effective for older adults with reduced digestive absorption. His second mistake was timing. He took zinc with a high-fiber breakfast and coffee, both block absorption. He took magnesium with a calcium-rich dinner. The two minerals compete for absorption. Vitamin C was taken as one large dose instead of split to keep levels steady in the blood. The final mistake, and the one that rendered all previous efforts useless, was inconsistency. During the week, he was fairly regular, but on weekends he forgot. While traveling, the bottles stayed untouched in his suitcase. For your body, this kind of inconsistency is like trying to build a bridge, but stopping every few days, the structure never becomes strong. When I restructured his plan, William switched to better absorbed forms. Vitamin C with bioflavonoids split into 2 doses per day. Zinc citrate 25 milligrams before bed on an empty stomach. Magnesium glycinate 400 milligrams with dinner. Sublingual methylcobalamin B12. And vitamin D3 in the morning with a fatty meal. I also tied his supplement use to daily habits, keeping bottles next to his toothbrush, setting phone reminders, and using a weekly pill organizer for travel. 12 weeks later, William returned smiling and said simply, "I didn't think the difference could be this noticeable." His stamina had improved, his mind was clearer, his sleep deeper, and his enjoyment of life had returned. To help you avoid the same mistakes and get the most out of these 5 nutrients, here's a sample routine, a simple, sustainable schedule that's powerful enough to deliver real results. This is the routine I often give to men over 60 who want to maximize the effectiveness of these essential nutrients. It's designed around the body's absorption patterns at this age, natural circadian rhythm, and avoiding nutrient interactions. You can start using it right at home without making big lifestyle changes. Morning after a breakfast with healthy fats, e.g. eggs, avocado, salmon. Vitamin D3, 1000 IU. Take with fat for maximum absorption. Vitamin C, 500 milligrams. Kickstart vascular protection, sustain energy, and support immunity. Afternoon, after a light snack or lunch. Vitamin C, 500 milligrams. Split dose to maintain steady blood levels. Vitamin B12, 1000 micrograms methylcobalamin sublingual. Improve memory focus and reduce fatigue. Evening with dinner. Magnesium glycinate, 400 milligrams. Relax muscles, improve sleep, and support circulation. Before bed, empty stomach at least 2 hours after dinner. Zinc citrate, 25 milligrams. Support testosterone, prostate health, and immune function. Zinc citrate, 25 milligrams. Optimized for absorption, supporting testosterone and prostate health. Tips to stay consistent. Use a weekly pill organizer so you don't miss a dose. Set a reminder on your phone. Bring the needed doses when traveling for work or vacation. Include foods rich in these nutrients in your meals. Fatty fish, D3, omega-3, leafy greens, magnesium, vitamin C, pumpkin seeds and oysters, zinc. Lean meats and fish, B12. If you turn this schedule into a daily habit, in just 8 to 12 weeks, you'll feel a difference not only in your body, but in how you enjoy life. Many of my patients have told me they don't just feel healthier, they feel like themselves again. Because health isn't the result of a magic pill, it's the reward for consistency and proper self-care. And when you're ready to commit to this journey, the benefits won't just be yours, but also for the people who love you. If you found today's message helpful, hit like, subscribe, and share this video with a man you care about. Let him know there's still a way to regain vitality and confidence at any age. I'm Dr. Benjamin Hartwell, and I'll see you in the next video, where we'll continue exploring the secrets to helping men over 60 live healthy, strong, and fulfilled lives.